FormParts are reusable components that simplify form design and maintenance. In this video, we'll create a new form part and use it in two forms, a sign permit form and a business license form. First, we'll open the sign permit form. You can see all form items are already in place, but a header containing the permit department's contact information would enhance the look and feel of the form. If we create the header as a form part, we can reuse it across all forms for the permit department. The locale and XFDL version of the form part can be modified, but for this header, we'll accept the default settings. In the Form Parts Properties window, we can provide a title and a description for the form part. The description can include more information to avoid having overly long form part titles. The description is visible when we hover over the form part in the palette. You can change the property settings in the Properties window or accept the defaults as they are shown. For this example, no defaults need changing. We now see the empty form part editor and can begin adding items to the form part. There are two ways to add items to a form part. One is to add items manually from the palette into the form part. The second is to select items from the existing form, copy them, and paste them into a form part. For this example, we will add items to the form part from the palette. To create a header for this form, first we'll add an image and then two text labels. We can add an image from the palette and drop it onto the form part. Notice that the size of the form part automatically adjusts to the size of the image. Now that the image is shown in the form part editor, we'll add a text label to contain address information for the permit department. We'll drag a text label from the palette and drop it onto the left side of the frame created by the image. Then we'll adjust the location of the text label so it is centered. We'll add a second text label to contain a contact phone and fax number. We'll drag a text label from the palette and drop it onto the right side of the frame created by the image. Then adjust the location of the text label so it is centered. The header is now complete. You must save the form part before it can be used in a form. Form parts are stored independently of the form. You can store form parts in the Form Parts folder on your computer or to a central repository on a server. When stored in a central repository, others can edit and use the form parts you create. This saves time as a form part can be created once and used by multiple people. For this example, we will save the form part locally to the Form Parts folder. The default file name is the form part title we used in the Properties window. This concludes this video for IBM Forms Designer Form Parts. For more information on IBM Forms Designer, including product documentation, please visit the IBM Forms wiki at www-10.lotus.com/ldd/lfwiki.nsf.